I got a question. Did they not know who he was? Did they not know who he was? Just a question. They knew. They knew. I guarantee they knew. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. The music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week of the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P-Dog Night. I am so happy to be here. I gotta adjust my microphone. I had to take all this down this weekend because right now I'm doing this in my dining room, and we had some friends and family over for a nice little brunch yesterday. We did what we did in our families. We're starting to do what we call just the birthday brunch. The where we celebrate everyone's birthdays at once, because we have a ton of birthdays in October, November, December. So we decided to have a brunch yesterday, and it was great. You know, it was good. And then, but I had to take all my stuff down, and then I put it back up until I moved down into the studio that I'm making in the basement. So, I'm back. You see the little thing back here. What's that? You know, yeah, we're in my dining room. Yes, we have a piano in our dining room. So anyway, and good morning. I'm so glad you're here. It is Monday, November 4th, 2019, and I am absolutely happy that you are here. Good, and well, let's say hi to the chat too while I'm here. Who's already here? Good morning, Zombie Teddy. You get the bell because you were first. Got here early. And good morning, Chicago J or Chi-Town J, Tyler F, C Thomas Gulf City Peasant, Diesel Dave, Richo, and D.I. Freighter, who's going to be lurking because she's working or something like that. Anyway, and slowly but surely people will be popping into the chat. So my question at the intro of the intro. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. Go ahead. The show is sponsored by you. You know, I talk about that all the time. This is I'm shilling early today because I kind of. Well, I'm making some changes as we go along. But anyway, as you can see right there, I got a tip jar. I thought that was kind of cute. So now you can see how the tip jar fills as you do super chats and things like that. So please, the Streamlabs link for that is down below if you want to do super chats. If you want to get my attention and make sure that I read something that you write, and I'll read it aloud on the show, I'll do that through the super chats. But the more important thing is I gotta grow this channel. So working on getting Iron Bastard to say grievous. Yes, I've seen that, say Thomas. I'll tell you. We'll talk about that in a second. I just got to get the channel to grow. So if you would be so kind, as you watch the show, make sure you're sharing the channel out or the stream out. I'm actually decided that, you know, I keep talking about making videos, but I'm actually going to start doing that this week. So I'm going to start putting out shorter videos that people can watch, and hopefully they'll enjoy too. I got my started on YouTube just kind of as a quirk, okay? I decided that I was going to make a couple videos, and I enjoy doing it, but I put so much time and effort to research and everything. But sometimes I think there are videos I could make that really wouldn't be nearly as technically difficult, although I do like to make transitions and make things look nice. But there's some things I want to talk about where I'm just going to rant like I do on the show. So you'll get used to that. Anyway, let's get back into what I was talking about during the what's that called? The intro to the intro, right? So I get on Twitter this morning, and none other than Richard Spencer is trending. Now I'm like, what? Why is this completely irrelevant human being trending? You know, and I don't know why they keep going back to this guy. This guy really. Here's my favorite phrase about Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer couldn't fill a conference room in the Hoboken Howard Johnsons of his followers. Yes, but his name is plastered everywhere. He's become this almost folk-like entity. So I get onto Twitter and he's trending number 4 on Twitter this morning, and I'm like, now he's down to 6, whatever, and I'm like, why is this jackass trending? Well, apparently, and I mean, 60,000 people have tweeted about him in the last whatever. So apparently, there is an audio of Richard Spencer saying anti-Semitic things. Shocker. Oh my God. Well, and so someone named Robert Evans. Okay, listen to this audio. Hear Richard Spencer with the mask off. This is all of them. Okay. This is all of them. Nick Fuentes. He's a bit of a jackass too. Whatever. Gavin McInnes. What? Steve Miller, Spencer's old buddy. This screeching rage-filled racist with dreams of ruling is the heart of the radical right. Richard Spencer is the heart of the radical right. Nobody gives a about Richard Spencer. He is the, why is it, C. Thomas, why is he so shocking? He's the leader of the alt-right. He's not even a leader of anything. He's just a guy who made his name being shocking. So let's see. Here it is. Leaked. And hey, Richard Spencer, would you care to comment on this leaked audio of you after Charlottesville? You're quoted as saying, "Little fucking kikes. They get ruled by people like me." What did you mean by this? Why is this a shock to you? Richard Spencer's not a good dude. He has this mythical power over people, as if he's significant on the right. You know what? Okay, here's a little experiment, and I see. Good morning, Grill and Pirate Pete. Good morning, Bacalo. Good morning, Chicago Mike. I already said, yeah. Okay, so there's a few more people in the chat. Let me ask you all who are here, because you guys are here early, and I'm glad you're here. When was the last time you heard anyone mention the name Richard Spencer? Put it in the chat. When was the last time you heard anyone mention Richard Spencer? And I'm going to see if I can play this audio on SoundCloud, because I'm not a... Okay, here's the leaked audio.
Like a fucking 100 times. I am so mad. I am so fucking mad at these people. They don't do this to fucking me. We're going to fucking ritualistically humiliate them.
Yes, right.
I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to. Like, this is never over. I win. They fucking lose. That's how the world fucking works. Little fucking kikes. They get ruled by people like me. Little fucking octoroons. My ancestors fucking enslaved those pieces of fucking shit.
Okay.
I rule the fucking world. Those pieces of shit get ruled by people like me. They look up and see a face like mine looking down at them. That's how the fucking world works.
Okay, he seems stable.
We're gonna destroy this fucking town.
Okay, so now this says leaked audio. Richard Spencer reacts to the death of Heather Heyer. Leaked audio shows here, let's read. Let's see if we can click this. Here's the description on SoundCloud. Okay, we'll pause this again. All right, here's the description. Leaked audio of white nationalist Richard Spencer, published here for the first time, shows him fuming after the death of Charlottesville counter-protester Heather Heyer. In the recording, Spencer is heard raging against Jews and blacks. My ancestors fucking enslaved those little pieces of fucking shit. Spencer is heard shouting in the recording, "They don't do this to fucking me. We're going to fucking blah, 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 blah." Anyway, so it's interesting. I would now, I guess I'm kind of figuring. Okay, follow. Okay, we're gonna listen to it again. First of all, thank you, Picala, for the $2 super chat. To hear it was Milo Yiannopoulos that leaked the audio makes it somehow funnier. CNN contributor Richard Spencer. Yeah, that's just it. Let's see. Now, let's see. Has anyone answered my question? The last time you heard about Richard Spencer, the last time you heard that name, yes, CNN contributor Richard Spencer. That's the last time I heard Richard Spencer's name. See, Richard Spencer was back under the rock he came from. His speaking engagements kind of dwindled out, and he's trying, whatever, I don't care. But he says something about, who dug him up? Who brought him out into the limelight again after he'd been pretty much gone out of my thought patterns, okay? Yes, people interviewed him a while back, but who brought him back to the forefront? This is CNN. Yes, he was a guest on CNN when CNN thought they could use him to say shit about Donald Trump. And Richard Spencer doesn't even support Donald Trump anymore, which is hilarious. Because the interview they had, but they said something about throwing out red meat and whatever. They were talking about. Oh, this was when he was talking about. Was this talking about sending the four horsemen of the apocalypse? Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and that group, telling them to go to some country and go back to the country and then find out how you fix things so perfectly and come back and tell us how. Remember that? Remember that whole thing? And so CNN decides they're going to bring on Richard Spencer to comment on some of Donald Trump's whatever he said, and then Richard Spencer comes on and is like, "Well, I don't really support him anymore. He's kind of he's not doing anything that I wanted him to do, and but he did throw out some red meat for somebody, but he doesn't really do anything." So Richard Spencer doesn't like Donald Trump anymore. And then, so anyway, I'm going to listen to this audio again real quick, because there was a couple things in here. Someone mentioned the word octoroon. Yeah. If you're not familiar with what an octoroon is it's a legal term from probably during slavery time and into the 20s. It's a very obscure term that now can be considered offensive, I guess. Just means someone who's 1/8 black. Okay, so there are quadroons or octoroons, whatever. That's an old term, and now apparently it's offensive now. I remember my grandmother, in my adopted family. I'm from an African American family that adopted me when I was very young, and I remember her using that word once. I can't remember what she was talking about. And my grandmother, her father was born a slave. And so she knew some of this terminology. And I'm like, okay, and she explained it. I'm like, okay, never thought of it again. And then, but the fact that he brought it up, I'm like, what the fuck? By the way, good morning also to Mr. Dax, Quinn the Cultist, and the gayest person on YouTube. Right on. And I got a $2 super chat from C. Thomas, my buddy. Richard Spencer sounds so feminine in the audio, and it's hilarious. Why is he taken so seriously again? I don't know. In fact, here's the thing. The only people who take him seriously are the really jackass fringe of the alt-right, which nobody likes, and everybody on the left, because everybody on the left could use, well, that Richard Spencer's right on the right, and he's Trump embodied in spirit and whatnot. No, he's not. He's an asshole. And everyone on the right knows he's an asshole. Everyone on the left knows he's an asshole. He's the only one who doesn't know that he's an asshole. It's not like, well, never mind. Let's listen to this audio again, though. Thank you, C. Thomas. Thank you, Pencalo. I really appreciate the super chats. And see what happens when you do super chats now? The tip jar starts to fill up. Isn't that cute? I love it. That's my new toy. So please fill up the tip jar today, because I got bills to pay. Anyway, so he is taken seriously by the media. Yes, and the media takes him seriously. That's just it. And thank you, Grill and Pirate Pete. Were you here earlier? Did I say hi to you already? Well, I'm saying hi to you now. Hello, Grill and Pirate Pete. He's taken serious by the media because he fits their whites are racist narrative. Well, I thought you were Ebony Williams. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah. So, dude, but I gotta laugh. I'm gonna read. Let's listen to this one more time. Again, I would be interested in. Hang on a second. I'd be interested in hearing the entire video in the context of this. Is he seriously this mad? Is he being is he being, I don't know. Is he being obtuse? I don't know, but I don't care. No, this is not a surprise. But he's trending on Twitter now, and the fact that he's trending on Twitter cracks me up. He's irrelevant as all get out, but man, is he the boogeyman? He is the boogeyman. And guess what? Also, CNN contributor. All right, let's how do you start? How do you back? Here we go.
Like a fucking 100 times. I am so mad.
He is so mad. He is so mad.
Fucking mad at these people. They don't do this to fucking me.
Well, what did they do to you? And the other reason I want to hear the context of this video, because I want to know exactly what they were talking about. It looks like it says it looks like it's from Milo Yiannopoulos, as someone said already. At least that's what it says. Yiannopoulos. Okay. M Yiannopoulos. I want the full context. I want to hear the entire conversation, who's in the conversation, what they're talking about. Because this says, okay, Richard Spencer reacts to the death of Heather Heyer. Is it? I don't know. But this is fat. I want to hear the whole thing now.
We're gonna fucking ritualistically humiliate them. Yes, right. I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to. Like, this is never over. No. I win. They fucking lose.
Wait, whoa. Somebody in here says Trump retweeted this buffoon at some point. Hold up. Wait a minute. Citation needed.
That's how the world fucking works.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking. If you look underneath the crawl, there's comments while this is going on.
Here every fucking weekend if I have.
Here, let's move this back all the way back. Okay, keep killing it, bro. Definitely submit for promo. Link in the bio. Okay, here we go. Play here.
We're coming back here like a fucking 100 times. I am so mad. I am so fucking mad.
Is he advocate for failure in this recording? Damn, chill out, Spencer.
Ritualistically humiliate them.
Go off, Spencer. Hold on.
Fucking me. We're gonna fucking.
I'm trying to read the comments underneath. Okay, this one says, "Go off, Spencer," by which I mean go off yourself, preferably with a noose. Oh shit! Go off yourself. Okay, go off. I mean, go off yourself, as in go off yourself. Okay. Hail Spencer, hail victory. Yeah. Hello, Zoltanus HN. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the Morning Night Live.
I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to.
Okay, now this one says, keep killing it, bro. Definitely submit it for promo. Link in my bio. I don't know what that means. I'm just reading the comments now. Next one here, Jesse Coffee says, Trump retweeted this buffoon at some point. You got to show me someone. If anyone knows where that is, I want to see it. I don't believe it. I don't know if he retweeted this jackass, But maybe he did. Trump doesn't know everyone he retweets. He's not, if he did, I'm sure somebody said, hey, sir, you may want to delete that one. All right, let's see. Next one.
Fucking lose! That's how the world fucking works! Little fucking kikes! They get ruled by
This guy needs to be locked away in a psych ward or something like that.
people like me. Little fucking octoroons! Alright!
The fucking octoroons. Why is he talking? Okay, I've never heard the octoroons, but people kept saying it. I'm trying to figure out what he was talking about. What fucking octoroons is he talking about? Who the fuck's he talking about? I don't think he knows. Maybe, he was a history major, but I don't think he really knows what that word means. I think that word doesn't mean what you think it means.
Fucking my ancestors fucking enslaved those pieces of fucking shit! We're gonna win. I rule the fucking world! Those pieces of shit get ruled by people like me! They look up!
I must reassure the Jews and blacks watching this trash is thankfully, are these comments down here? Oh, is thankfully almost over. Okay. Yeah.
And see a face like mine looking down at them!
The face like mine looking down at them. Bitch, please.
That's how the fucking world works! We are gonna destroy.
Leaking this won't revive your deservedly dying carrier, Milo, but it will definitely revive. Where is it down here? It will definitely revive Spencer's. He had more energy here than the entire right wing since Siege got released. Yeah, it puts him in the spotlights and gives people something to talk about. But like I said, nobody's following this jackass.
Boy, this fucking town!
Okay, and then the finally.
Internet money, bitch!
Whoa, what the hell happened there? Okay. Why did that start playing? I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to close it so I don't have to hear it. Oh, bitch is mad though. I don't know what's wrong with the dude, but man, he's got to go. Anyway, like I said, nobody follows that asshole. I just laugh at the dude. It's funny. All right. So, by the way, real quick, a couple thank yous. Necrosol, thank you so much for tweeting out the show. I'm not sure if you're here, but if you're lurking, I'm glad you're here. Also, looks like we got a few more people coming in. I think I already said this. How are there only 16 people watching? You know what? That's kind of how my show is. Well, you know what? Here's how you can help me. Just tweet out the show, and it'll grow organically. I've thought of. I'm one of the things I'm going to do is I am going to start making videos again because I know a lot of people like to watch just 10, 15-minute videos. I only have 418 something subscribers, and so the show's going to be small for a while. But it's just how it is. It's just, and plus I chose a time of the day when I know there's not going to be as many people watching. So that's just kind of how it is. But we'll keep growing. You guys keep having fun in the chat and let people know that we have a fun time here on the Morning Night Live. All right, let's move on. So this morning, since it's Monday, we always worry about what happened over the weekends and pretty much just see, pull out news items from them. Thank you, Pirate Pete, also for tweeting on the show. Also, Tyler F. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's the biggest thing you can do to help me right now is keep sharing the show out with people. So my big thing on Mondays is we usually just go. I just run through Twitter and stuff from the weekend, go through some bookmarks, and we'll just go through some of these things. So I just clicked a bunch of interesting things on here. Let's see here. We're going to get here. This is not the most professional way to do it, but this is how it's going to be. Oh, so lots of funny, quite a few humorous things. First one was this dude. I may have talked about this Friday, but I'm going to talk about it again. Apparently, oh, geez. Well, I'll go back to that one too. Apparently, this man flew to California and spent 2 days lighting wildfires and then tried to fly home. Charges have been filed against a Missouri man who police say is to blame for starting wildfires in California. Police say that at the end of September, 68-year-old Freddie Graham hopped on a flight from Missouri to San Jose. They say he rented a car and then spent the next 2 days starting fires as he drove the narrow, windy roads between Ed Levin Park and the Calaveras Reservoir in the foothills near San Jose. Wow, this is a delightful human being, isn't he? Deputy District Attorney Bud Porter said Graham would light pieces of paper on fire and toss them out of his window as he drove. They believe he's responsible for setting at least 13 fires, which collectively became referred to as the Reservoir Fire. The fire took days to put out, burning more than 128 acres. Luckily, no injuries or damaged buildings were reported. Police thank a witness for coming forward. They say the person noticed his rental car near the blazes and took note of the license plate. They arrested Graham while he was trying to return his rental car at the San Jose airport. They say he was actually in Milpitas for his 50th high school reunion, which he went to Saturday evening after allegedly setting the fires. Investigators say after he was arrested, Graham told them that he and his wife had planned to drive along Calaveras Road near the reservoir together before her death in 2018. Wow, this guy's an asshole. Based on what happened, he's charged with a number of offenses, including 13 felony counts of arson of brushland, as well as 2 charges related to committing arson near the state during a state of emergency. On those charges alone, he faces up to 22 years in prison, and I hope he gets all of them. We've been hearing that some of these fires may not be organic fires, lightning, or even caused by electrical, whatever, sparks. And now we're for sure, at least as far as this guy is concerned, know that that's true. So that's kind of shitty, man. Put his ass in jail. I'm just saying. He needs to be gone. Gone for good. Real quick, I got another notification here. Let me check these out real quick. Thank you, Diesel Dave, also for tweeting out the show. Again, sharing is caring. I appreciate you. Hi, Mike Savage. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. All right. I already said hi to Quinn the Cultist. Yeah, what a dickhead. Okay, good point. Quinn the Cultist, you got it. You get the bell just for that. What a dick. Perfect. All right, moving on. What else we got? Let's get back on the right page here. All right. This is interesting. So this so if you're not familiar with what's going on, I've talked about this before. There is a new strategy by the ultra progressive left. And in particular, I hate to bring up the guy's name because people are thinking, you're being conspiracy theorist and everything. And because this name brings, this is one of those very polarizing names. George Soros has been, he's been funding the campaigns of super leftist people who are running for attorney generals in different states. And it's well documented. And in fact, some states, Letitia James is one of these people. The progressive AG, Letitia James, warns about New York's coming criminal justice crisis. I believe that's what she's saying. Criminal justice disaster. So here's the article. Here, we'll move this over. When even officials as progressive as State Attorney General Letitia James are warning of big problems with New York's latest criminal justice fixes, it's time to worry. At a Senate hearing Monday, James' aide, Kate Powers, on behalf of the AG, raised major red flags about reforms rushed through the legislature this year, especially those requiring prosecutors to turn over all evidence within 15 days of an arraignment. That's amazing. That includes police and medical reports, videos, phone records, forensic findings, etc. Powers praised lawmakers for moving to mend our broken criminal justice system and reform the discovery process, but she warned that the challenges of complying with the new mandates are real. To comply, DAs with just a few attorneys for an entire county may have to double their support staff, she noted. The largest offices with the most complex cases may need investments in the double-digit millions. Even the state's AG's office, which handles a far smaller criminal caseload than the county DAs, will need significant infusion to the tune of $10 million, Powers said, yet there's no sign the needed funds will be available. Some DAs, even more blunt and alarming, the reforms as drafted are not practical, railed Rensselaer County DA Mary Pat Donnelly. She blasted lawmakers for playing roulette with public safety. Their reforms, it seems like all the reforms are to hinder the judicial process, almost, to me. But it's not surprising. Letitia James is one of those attorneys that Soros got elected, who basically her you know what her whole deal is? Her whole deal when she was running for AG was how she could prosecute Trump for his misdeeds that they had no even inkling of what those might be, but they were gonna find ways to prosecute Trump for anything that he could possibly do, and they're gonna just they've changed laws in the state of New York so they could dig into Trump shit, but they forgot that, part of their job is all the other criminal shit that already happens that they have proof for. It's really, really strange. So anyway, good morning, Straight Sith Mail. So there's two states that I'd love to visit, but I would never want to live in. New York and California. Now, I have family in California, so I enjoy visiting there. I have to visit there once in a while. Boy, I would not want to live in that state. It's crazy. It's a crazy state, man. All right, let's move on. What else we got here? I got all kinds of stuff today. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not going to get into Katie Hill. My 2 cents on Katie Hill, the congresswoman who just resigned because of her issues with her having conjugal relations with her staff. You know what? I really could care less. I think, she's running afoul of the rules that they put in place in 2018. Okay? So anyone saying that, oh, well, what about all these other people, blah, 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 blah. Well, you got to remember, she is not the first person in Congress to have to resign because of, stupid shit like that. Anthony Weiner. But, so, I don't care. She resigned. No one forced her. No, maybe Nancy Pelosi told her to resign, but it doesn't matter. She broke the new rules of not having relations with your staff naked, and so she ends up resigning. Okay, good, whatever. Don't play a victim. And also, now there's a lot of people who are trying to say that the Katie Hill thing has something to do with revenge porn. Not so fast. Okay? So the so-called revenge porn, the pictures of her naked, brushing her staff person's hair and the other whatever naked shit she does while she's naked and, whatever. All those pictures, they were already posted on the internet by her and her husband. This is not revenge porn. You've already been posting this shit all over the internet. People just showed you where it was, okay? It was already posted. You posted it for the world to see. You feel me? No, don't feel me. You've been feeling a little bit too much already. All right, moving on. I thought this was awesome. I may have played this Friday, but it's still awesome, and I'm gonna play it again because it's awesome. So this dude on Saturday or was it Saturday? Maybe it was Friday. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Saturday. This is hilarious. Okay, this is an interview with a gentleman who's talking about dogs in the military. And you're just gonna have to wait for what he says at the end. If you haven't seen this, this is awesome. Why do peeps put their weird porn shit on the internet? I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't. Here's the other thing. Okay, let's briefly go back to Kate Hill. All right, so Kate Hill had her, what do they call it, a throuple, three, whatever couple, that's three people. She had relationships, whatever. And this was, you know, she had the husband and the extra girlfriend, and they all were a throuple, whatever they call, you know, they had, that was their business, right? And the problem, her problem was with having a relationship with the staffers too, so it got kind of messy, right? But the staffers, that's against the rules of Congress, so she was going to get whatever. Okay, so I don't care about the throuple, right? She's not my representative. I didn't vote for her, but if that's her thing and she keeps it out of the public, whatever anything to do with her public dealings as a person in Congress, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't approve of it, but that's her thing, right? I didn't vote there. She represents somebody else. If they want that shit to represent her, then more power to them. But she broke the new rules of Congress, and so she stepped down. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't have, if it was just this throuple thing over here. I don't care. She's not my representative. You represent whoever the fuck you want. But she's not resigning because of the throuple. No one's, I mean, not my thing, but hey, you know, to each is each. And the revenge porn, well, she posted all that shit. I'm kind of just repeating myself. Good morning, Maniac Man. And I said straight Sith Mail, but I want to make sure I'm saying good morning to you live. Here we go. All right, back to this dude. This is awesome. Watch this. Maybe let's see, make this bigger. I'm going to make this bigger and go full screen. Hold up. Because this is awesome. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's the best interview ever. Here we go.
So thank you and thank Nero for your service. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. If I could I throw a PSA out real quick?
Real quick.
Just the remarkable nature of these dogs and them being highlighted in the news creates a huge demand by people that frankly shouldn't have them. If you see the coverage and you decide I want one of these dogs, either buy a finished trained, fully trained and finished dog from a professional, or just don't get one at all. And Epstein didn't kill himself.
Okay. Thank you for that commentary. All right, Mike.
I love the reaction of the person playing the video too. And Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was so funny. I know a lot of you saw it, but I just had to show it again. It's funny as hell. All right. Did I? Yes, I did say hi to Mike Savage. All right. There's a couple other good ones too. I'll show you another one later. Oh, wow. Okay, so if you didn't know this, President Trump attended a UFC fight this weekend. I got a couple of these things about this one, but we're just going to go up the bookmarks as fast as we can. Donald Trump attended the UFC this past weekend, and he entered the arena to some boos and some cheers. Depending on which video you watch, you hear the boos in the video in the one video because all the people around that person are booing. You see another video where some of the people are cheering, and it's just, whatever. Presidents getting booed at sporting events is nothing new. But Brian Stelter, little Brian Stelter, on CNN had an interesting question. And journalism at its finest. Now, remember, Brian Stelter is a journalist on CNN. And rather than just, maybe doing a little research, he decides on Twitter, I'm curious to find out who invited Trump to this UFC fight and why. Brian, and why? Who invited Trump to this UFC fight, and why? And why? Well, if you're a journalist, you might realize that Donald Trump has been a supporter of UFC and different kinds of boxing and all kinds of things for a long time, right? In fact, in some of Donald Trump's venues, they've even held some of these events. He's a fan of pugilist sports. And so, who cares? Who invited him? Well, I'm curious, Brian, why no one invited you? Really? And why? Because he's responding to this Ariel Helwani, who has one of the videos to booze. Okay, wait. Oh, where is it? President Trump has entered MSG, which is Madison Square Garden, and is met with boos. He wasn't shown on the big screen. But it's, you know what? Welcome to New York. New Yorkers, you know what? I don't care. It's the president of the United States. He's going to get boos no matter where he goes. And especially this president, there's an industry of hating Donald Trump. But come on, Brian. I'm curious. We'll answer that question later. All right. Now, here's one of those kinds of tweets that piss me off. And there's more than one. But here's interesting. So this is a reference kind of that too. Here's the quote. If kids can't go to school without fear of being killed, and women can't go to Planned Parenthood without fear of being killed, and black people can't go anywhere without the fear of being killed, at the very least, Trump shouldn't get to leave the White House without fear of being booed. Let's analyze this. Well, no, let's not even analyze. Let's just ask a couple simple questions. Kids can't go to school without fear of being killed? Why is that? What are the odds of going to school and being killed? Now, granted, we love to amplify events where it has happened, where kids have been killed at school, some of the school shootings, right? How common are they? How many schools are there in the United States? And how many of these events happen over the years? Now, granted, there are some schools or some places where there's more likely to have issues where there might be a shooting near the school or somewhere in the vicinity of a school. But kids can't go to school without fear of being killed? It's a statement like that makes children fear of being killed, as if that something that happens in every school. I'm just wondering how many schools there are in the United States and how rare it is. Again, you make the dog bites man event something that we should be scared of. And it's who's perpetrating the fear that people have. Again, a woman can't go to Planned Parenthood without fear of being killed. Really? How many women in the last 50 years have been killed at a Planned Parenthood? Now, of course, some have died of complications, But that's, no one ever talks about that. So that might be the fear of being killed that you meant. But I don't think that's what this person meant. I think she thinks that woman who goes to Planned Parenthood fears getting shot. Why? Has there been a rash of killings at Planned Parenthoods? And then the last one, as a black person, really fucking offends me. Black people can't go anywhere without fear of being killed. Really? Really? I don't ever recall having fear of going somewhere, fear of being killed. You know what? I lived my life. Even they don't even qualify this one. They don't even qualify. Well, look, you know what? Oh God, I don't even want to go into this because it's just yeah. Anywhere? By whom? Now, I could go into the statistics. Oh, yes, black crime, whatever. But that's, the only reason I ever talk about crime, black on black crime, is because my concern is more that the victims of murder, okay, it's the highest, it's the most common cause of murder of young black men from ages 15 to 45, okay? Murder is number one cause of death. Okay, so that concerns me. But you know what? Even that is such a small percentage. Now, granted, as far as the percentage of murders in the United States, it's way too high. Okay, but even that is a small fraction of events in the United States. Okay, Diesel Dave says you've obviously never lived in the ghetto. Yeah, you're right. I haven't, and I don't fear going there though. I don't fear, But this is black people can't go anywhere without fear of being killed. Well, that's nonsense. I go to the mall. I have no fear of being killed. I go get gas. I have no fear of being killed. I go to work. I have no fear of being killed. I go into the hood. I don't have any fear of being killed. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been in the hood a while. And granted, you're right. My parents decided we moved when I was 5 years old. We moved basically what would have been considered a suburb, although it wasn't an incorporated area. And we moved out of where the neighborhoods were starting to get bad. And we moved away, never moved back. Although, you know what? I went to church in the hood. I went to my piano lessons. My piano teacher, Addie Hinton, down in the hood, not far from my church. Okay. I was in a youth group in the hood. So we just drove from where I lived down to the hood to go to my youth group called Jack and Jill. But this is nonsense. This is just that fear-mongering bullshit that makes people afraid. And it's being sold to people that kids can't go. They have these stupid gun shooter drills for something that almost never happens. Okay, you know what they tried to make us fear when I was young? We were supposed to fear a nuclear attack. So we had in elementary school, we would have these drills, what do they call it? Simple something drill. And they would do it one about every couple months, and the alarm would go off, that particular alarm, and you would go sit near a wall and with your cross-legged against the floor, against the wall, with your head down and your hands over your head. And I'm thinking, why are we doing this? Okay? If it's a nuclear attack and that happens, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting here or sitting over there or sitting under a brick wall. I'm dead. It doesn't matter. But hey, yeah, duck and cover. Oh my God. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $1 super chat on the Streamlabs link in the description down below. How did one go and fit all that bullshit in a single tweet? The fear is just being forced on people by the very grievance grifters who are looking to make a few shekels. The only fear that should be prevalent is of those who actually like pineapple pizza. Oh, yes. C. Thomas, you're very, very clever, and thank you for using my term griever. We're going to get C. Thomas. He mentioned in the chat earlier that he's going to try to get one of my people that I follow on YouTube and Twitter who's become friendly is the Hard Bastard. He has a stream that daily news stream Monday through Saturday. And we're trying to get him to use the term grievance grifter. And Thomas actually used it correctly this time. Which you do usually anyway, but that's my term. I want that term. It really, a grievance grifter is like Sean King, who, because here's the thing. A lot of people have been using this term grifter incorrectly. So a grifter, is someone who tries to make money off of certain issues, not because they necessarily believe the issues, but they know that they can use the issue to make money. So I take a good example of Sean King. Sean King, maybe he believes some of the shit he talks about, but mostly he's been using it to make money, right? A lot of people like to call Candace Owens a grifter, okay? And in many ways she is. I think she's a talking point master, but she's been very successful of getting her profile higher and higher and making money off of these issues, which I'm never really convinced that she's a conservative, although she knows all the talking points and whatever. But so that's what a grifter is. And so the grievance grifters are the Sean Kings, or the granddaddy of all grievance grifters is what's his name? Jesse Jackson. He was a grievance grifter. He found ways to have people give him money because he was the one always having grievances. Now, not that all of the grievances that Jesse Jackson talked about were not real. Of course, there has been so many issues that he talks about that have a need. But him and Al Sharpton, they're the ultimate grievance grifters. Well, we have a new class of grievance grifter, and they're everywhere. And a lot of them are. They're all, and believe me, the grifters are on the left and the right, but the grievance grifters are the ones that I am trying to get that term into the popular vernacular. So if you can ever use the term grievance grifter and use it correctly, please do so. All right, let's move on here. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you again, C. Thomas and Pincalo, the people who are doing super chats. So again, super chats, description down below. PDog, let's see. It's streamlabs.com/PDogNight. Just like my name. All right, moving on. Let's, what else we got here? All right, what else did I do? Let's see. Getting upset over another person's opinion, especially if it's a stranger. Oh, this is, you know what? Some of these things I bookmark just for a good saying. I think this is a good saying. Getting upset over another person's opinion, especially if that person is a stranger, displays a profound lack of emotional maturity. It is an indicator that a lot of inner work is needed. I just thought that was profound. That's all I got to say about that. Let's see. This is an interesting article. Now, I've followed Micaiah B since before. I have a hard time calling him he, but I forget because I followed this person way before he transitioned to being a man, born physiological female, but calls himself a man. So I'm just being polite and accommodating. Interesting article on trans athletes, and because most of the fixation or news that we get about trans athletes is referring to trans women competing in the male arena. Okay, and so he wrote an interesting article about how that is. Now, I have a lot of things I disagree with this in this article, so I'm probably going to maybe I might do a video about this. It's a topic that I've followed fairly closely for the last probably 6 to 8 months and read a lot of different literature, a lot of different articles, a lot of different studies, and it's fascinating to me. So I probably going to use this article too as part of the thing, but that's why I bookmarked it. If you're interested, I'll put there's the, it's an interesting article. Like I said, oops, what the hell did I do there? That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on. But here it is right here. Here. Copy and just give yourself a preview by reading the article. It's fascinating. All right, moving on. Oh, here's one of those. Here's one of those things that I really wanted to get into. So apparently, this Bronx judge releases gun blasting thugs with no bail. Oh God. A city judge released 2 gun suspects without bail the day after they were separately accused of firing their illegal weapons in the street, and incredulous cops are outraged. You know, it's funny because all these people want to talk about gun control and taking guns from people and taking away your AR-15. What the hell is that? Taking away your AR-15 and blah, 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 blah. And then this judge just lets these suspects go. Brooklyn criminal justice, Sherry Mitchells, whatever, who was once rebuked by the state ethics panel for trying to use her position to wriggle out of minor traffic accident, oversaw the arraignments of suspected bullet-blasting thugs Alexis Juarez, 23, and Jose Serrano, 37, both of whom have already have lengthy rap sheets. Great! Juarez is accused of pointing a firearm in the direction of multiple people and blasting several shots in front of 333 East 150th Street on October 20th, according to the criminal complaint. No gun was recovered, but the shooting was captured on video, and a witness identified Juarez as the triggerman, according to law enforcement sources. At the same time and location, Juarez and 3 cohorts also allegedly attacked a guy, pummeling the victim so viciously that he sustained a black eye and lacerations to his neck, head, and lip, according to court papers. Meanwhile, Serrano allegedly fired a gun in front of 673 Hunts Point Avenue on the same day, according to court papers. At the crime scene, police recovered a .22 caliber gray revolver, ammunition, and spent shell casings, the papers say. The defendants were charged with numerous raps, including second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and firearms possession. Yeah, which is very strict in New York. That was my aside. Juarez was separately hit with assault and harassment raps for the beatdown. Bronx prosecutors asked the 53-year-old judge to set $50,000 bail for Juarez and $25,000 for Serrano, but the judge, the daughter of late former city councilman Stanley Michaels, instead chose to release the men on their own recognizance October 21st. Oh, my. What is she thinking? What is she thinking? Okay, this is outrageous that the judge could just let 2 separate people walk out of the courtroom with no bail, a Bronx cop seethed. We've seen numerous stories about shootings going up, and there's no reason for anyone to have an illegal gun. These are illegal guns, too. Now, I bet you, if these had been like white guys with legal guns who maybe fired in a stressful situation, I bet she wouldn't have let them out with no bail. Juarez already has a 3rd-degree assault conviction and 8 prior arrests, including possession of illegal knives. I'm assuming some kind of switchblades or something. Serrano has 11 prior arrests, including for robbery, burglary, and gang assaults. Judge Michaels could have set the bail for both men at their October 20th cases. A statewide no bail reform law takes effect January 1st, but deals with lesser crimes. So anyway, yeah, I'm not going to read the rest, but good point. Progressive judge at her finest, C. Thomas, exactly. And so Joe Borelli, who's from New York City, says if two shooters are arrested and then subsequently released back on the street without bail, what is the purpose of the NYPD responding to the scene in the first place, which could result in the death of a cop, suspect, or both? Yeah, ding. Right on. Moving on, now outed CIA and FBI informant Stephen Halper served as a source for Washington Post reporter David Ignatius. Oh, shocker! Providing more evidence that the intelligence community has co-opted the press to push anti-Trump conspiracy theories. So this is from, I think I already had this one. This is an older article from or at least about a week old, from Margot Cleveland, or she says, whoever this person says, Professor M.J. Cleveland, which is Margot Cleveland. So, and this is just all the Russia collusion clues are beginning to point back to John Brennan. Yeah. Wait, let's see if this is the same article. Oh, okay. No, this is a different one from this. Oh, this is from this morning. Scoop, CIA, FBI informant was Washington Post source for Russiagate smears. You know, this Stephen Halper dude, it's really, it's just so funny. This is one of Brennan's guys. The Federalist has learned that now outed CIA and FBI informant Stephen Halper served as a source for Washington Post reporter David Ignatius, providing more evidence that the intelligence community has co-opted the press to push anti-Trump conspiracy theories. In addition, an email recently obtained by the Federalist from the MI5 connected Christopher Andrew bragging that his longtime friend Ignatius has the inside track on Flynn adds further confirmation of this conclusion. Yeah, well, hey, Shia Grath, how you doing? Nice to see you. And Faithless also. I missed this 3 strikes law. This 3 strikes law, I don't like. Okay, I just caught that in the chat. I'm not a fan of 3 strikes law, but I think a judge should have the. Yeah, no, it's a 3 strikes law forces a judge to put someone in jail for whatever. I just think judges should have better judgment. Moving on. Let's see. Svetlana Lokova, the Russian-born English citizen and Soviet-era scholar, told the Federalist that she only realized the significance of her communications with and about Ignatius following the filing of attorney Sidney Powell's reply brief in the Michael Flynn case. In last week's court filing, Powell highlighted how the CIA, FBI, Halper, and possibly James Baker used the unnamed and unaware Lakova and the complicit Ignatius to destroy Flynn. This James Baker is not the one who worked under James Comey at the FBI, but a James Baker in the Department of Defense Office of National Assessments. Oh, interesting. Powell wrote, here it is, Stephen Halper is a known longtime operative for the CIA and FBI. He was paid exorbitant sums by this FBI, CIA, and Department of Defense through the Department of Defense's Department Office of Net Assessment in 2016. His tasks seem to have included slandering Mr. Flynn with accusations of having an affair with a young professor, a British national of Russian descent. Flynn met at an official dinner at Cambridge University when he was head of the DIA in 2014. Flynn has requested the records of Colonel James Baker because he was Halper's handler in the Office of Net Assessment at the Pentagon, and ONA Director Baker regularly lunched with Washington Post reporter David Ignatius. Now remember, a lot of this whole story started getting into the press after David Ignatius started writing articles about it. I mean, this is hilarious. Well, actually, it's scary, but whatever. Baker is believed to be the person who illegally leaked the transcript of Mr. Flynn's calls to Ignatius. The defense has requested the phone records of James Clapper to confirm his contacts with Washington Post reporter Ignatius, especially on January 10th, 2017, when Clapper told Ignatius in words to the effect of "take the kill shot on Flynn." It cannot escape mention that the press has long had transcripts of the Kislyak calls that the government has denied to the defense. So they've been they've been denying discovery items to the defense of Michael Flynn, saying, "Oh, these are classified shit that they can't do," and just basically denying him exculpatory evidence. So fascinating. Yes, Dave, can we get P-Dog above 1,000K subs? Streamlabs sucks. I love Streamlabs because it's instant, but I would love to be able to eventually monetize the channel and get super chats. We'll work on it. Anyway. Lakova's known of Halper's role in targeting Flynn since Halper was outed as a CIA and FBI informant in May 2018. She then sued Halper and several media outlets for defamation after they falsely repeated Halper's lies that she was a Russian spy engaged in intrigue with Flynn. Yeah, this is getting good, baby. This shit's getting good. Long story short, these people are all lying, cheating bastards and need to go to jail. And hopefully it happens. Anyway, good morning, Dr. No. How you doing? I see you're here too. So anyway, I'm going to put that article in the chat too. You guys can read that one yourself if you're interested. Oh, and there's the alarm for the meeting to tell me to stop doing this stuff. Anyway, stop. Dismiss. There we go. I hit the wrong button. That's the alarm telling me we should go to Twitter Trends, but I'm going to send you this article out if you're interested. Let's see. There's a couple other books. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter tells church service he's absolutely completely at ease with death. We were talking about this. I was on Monkey in the Morning this morning with you guys. Some of you were there. And I can appreciate Jimmy Carter as a former president, mainly because of his work with Habitat for Humanity. He's been doing that almost since he left the presidency, and has been tireless. In fact, even as late as last year at 94 years old, he's still out building Habitat for Humanity homes. He kind of started chirping around about shit during the Bush administration, kind of, doing things that former presidents probably shouldn't do and get involved in politics. But I do appreciate that part of his life where he has been tireless as far as working with Habitat for Humanity. He was a terrible president. He was terrible, just terrible. I'm doing that's even a hard that's a hard even thing to talk about his presidency. It sucked. Oh, real quick, C. Thomas donated $1 in the Streamlabs. More evidence of the intelligence community committing gay ops on a sitting and legitimate president. Imagine my horse-sized shock. Hard bastard was right all along, and hopefully he doesn't get Clinton or Arkansas or whatever you want to call it. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $1 super chat. I appreciate you. Lindsay, the problem with super chats, while it's convenient, YouTube takes a cut from super chats. To my understanding, you get to keep all of the money that's donated to Streamlabs. Well, not all of it, but it's a way smaller percentage. I mean, YouTube takes like 30% of anything you make in super chats, whereas Streamlabs, it's like, it's basically a PayPal. It's 33 cents plus whatever small percentage they take. So, and unfortunately, until I get enough people doing those, there's even a credit card option that takes even less. But whatever. I mean, I just appreciate the fact that you guys are willing and some of you are able to do the super chats through Streamlabs or whatever. It's great. I appreciate whatever you guys do. So, and by the way, good morning, Lindsay. You weren't here yet, and so there you go. And hi, Dr. No again. All right. I'm almost done with this. Oh my gosh. Somebody put this one out here this morning. And I didn't read the article, but I'm just going to answer the question that Greta Thunberg asked. Or maybe she did. I don't know if she asked it or if someone just made it like she was asking this question. But Greta Thunberg, is my autism a superpower? Okay, I'm not even going to read this article. Let me just answer that question for you, Greta. No, your autism is not a superpower, but your autism and your age and your gender are probably not impenetrable, but one of the greatest shields that anyone has ever come up with, okay? Superpower, no, because, even though you have this wonderful shield called autism, 16-year-old girl, blah, 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 you are entering an arena which requires a response occasionally. And people are going to respond to you. Some of them are going to do it in ways that you're not going to like. Some are going to do it in ways that other people are going to like. And again, that's that shield. That's that beautiful little shield that you use. That is, I don't even know if it was even given to you. It's kind of like they just found you to be the perfect person for this particular thing, right? But no, it's not a superpower. And certainly it does not give you any additional brain power or knowledge or anything, okay? It's funny. Greta Thunberg, Chris Packman, Jack Monroe, and others credit their Asperger's with giving them the focus to get things done. Oh, good God. I'm going to have to read this article another time. I'm just disgusted by it. I'm disgusted by The Guardian for writing this article. Here, poet, writer, and autist Jane Lindbergh wonders if the conditions has helped her too. Okay, whatever. These people. Wow. Okay, moving on. Let's see, real quick. And then there's Elizabeth Warren. Yes, this is Donald Trump Jr. tweeting. I know, it's funny. I don't follow Donald Trump Jr. I don't follow Charlie Kirk. I don't follow Donald Trump. I don't follow any of the politicians on the left or the right. And yet I know it doesn't matter. I don't have to. These are people that you don't have to follow to see their tweets because somebody will tweet it for them. In this case, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted out, her plan costs $52 trillion. And there are 600 billionaires in the U.S. If you took $1 billion from each of them, you cover about 1% of her plan. Right. It's just irresponsible to pretend that she can do this without destroying the middle class and the economy. Because, and he's responding to, Elizabeth Warren told me her Medicare for All proposal won't raise taxes for anyone with under $1 billion. After I asked who's in the middle class, she promises not to raise taxes. Let's see what she says here in her own words.
Senator, when you say you won't raise middle class taxes, what is the income bracket that you use?
I don't know if you can hear this.
Here it's 100%. It doesn't raise taxes on anybody but billionaires. And you know what? The billionaires can afford it, and I don't care.
Oh my God. You could take away all the billionaires' money and you wouldn't be able to fund your plan for probably more than a week. Just saying. That's just a bald-faced lie. Oh my God. No. You are nuts. I'm sorry. You're nuts. You're crazy. All right, let's see. Joe Walsh, by the way, if you're pissed off about impeachment, you've only got one person to blame, Donald Trump. Nobody forced Trump to pressure. Okay, this is I did this one because here's the talking point that I'm getting tired of hearing. This is Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh is the Joe Walsh. Not Joe Walsh. Not Life's Been Good to Me So Far, Joe Walsh. Former Eagle Joe Walsh. No, this is the former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh. The same Joe Walsh that during a Barack Obama address to the joint House of Congress and Senate yelled out, "You lie." Remember that Joe Walsh? This is the same Joe Walsh that Well, I have it bookmarked. This is the same Congressman Joe Walsh that said on Twitter that Barack Obama is a Muslim. But he's trying to run for president of the United States. He's he's running for the Republican nomination for president of the United States because he's a total anti-Trumper now. And he's saying the talking point, nobody forced Trump to pressure a foreign government to sabotage our elections. Tired of this talking point. Okay. Now we've all read about the call, and there's different interpretations, and like the talking point of the left and the media. I know that's redundant, but the talking point is that he's trying to pressure a foreign government to interfere in our elections. No. And I don't know why they're so well. I know why they're protective of Joe Biden, but if this is not a legitimate interest in corruption in the United States, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. And even if it, first of all, they haven't really told me what law that was supposedly broken here, but I'm trying to figure it out. But the idea, one, that they shouldn't look into what happened in the 2016 elections when Ukraine has already convicted people of interfering in the United States election, right? There's been a case in Ukraine that never made it to the United States, but I'm sure I'd love to hear about it. Because there was a case in their courts where they convicted some people of trying to interfere in the United States elections. And we know that the Democrats were involved in something in the Ukraine having to do with the 2016 election. And we know that Biden, whether or not it was because of one reason or another, bragged about a quid pro quo, about firing the judge that happened to be going after the company that was his son was on the board of directors of. And he bragged about it. It's on tape. It's all over the internet. You can't miss it. And for some reason, people are like, well, that's not what he was doing. Well, if it wasn't what he's doing, then fine. Then there's no problem. But you don't think it should be investigated just a tiny bit? C. Thomas, thank you for the another $1 super chat on the Streamlabs link in the description down below if you'd like to participate. On the Thunberg article, autism is not a superpower. It is not a boon, nor is it the worst thing ever. Autism is akin to being wired just different enough that syncing with people is difficult, but like enough that you want to. At least that's my experience. Thank you. You know what? It's people that have challenges that you deal with. And some people are able to deal with it better, and some people need help. But you know what? That's all it is. Stop playing up her autism. God. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the super chat. I appreciate that. This pressure that pressuring a foreign government to sabotage our election talking points just pisses me off. That's all they got out of that call because they don't want the investigation of how this crap started. And unfortunately for them, the people who don't want this investigation to go forward, John Durham's found something, or he wouldn't be talking about this being a criminal case. And John Durham didn't just start when Bill Barr became the Attorney General. We figured that out last week, that John Durham has been investigating this since March 2018, which means Jeff Sessions had him start investigating the possible criminal activities of certain people. And now that we're about to get an IG report, and now that a grand jury is about to be convened, and now that John Durham's going to have his report out, there are some seriously nervous people in Washington, number one being John Brennan, because it seems like everything you read about this all somehow goes to John Brennan. And he's the one chirping on the internet. Although he's been a little bit quiet for a couple weeks now. But he's the one who used to chirp the most. And, you know, it'll be interesting. And now, if they find nothing, okay. But there are sure a lot of people nervous in Washington. They're sure pushing this impeachment thing now that they found out the Inspector General report's about to come out and all this other stuff. I just want to see what it is. I just do. This is a cute video. Just real quick, I just popped this one out here. Let's see, we'll start at the beginning.
Ja, gewoon proberen. Als je het niet probeert, dan weet je het niet.
And so he's cooking, and he's got some hash browns there, or whatever that looks like. Maybe it's a pancake. Yeah, check this out.
Zo.
Check this out.
Hey.
And wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Is het goed gegaan, Gillian?
Wait for it. Oh no, my video went froze. Come on, video. Finish up, video. Wait for it. Oh, come on. Oh, wait a minute. Here, we'll escape. We'll try.
Hij ligt al op een...
Hang on. Gosh darn it. Here, here's the end of the video. Watch. He flipped it. Gosh darn it. You're killing me, internet. No! Here we go. Now watch. It landed on the plate perfectly. That's awesome. All right, last one. Okay, now back to Trump and the UFC. Real quick. Well, interesting. Here's Dana White talking about why Trump was at the UFC. Listen to this. This is it's about 3 minutes. Anyway, here's the kicker quote. Everything that ever happened to me in my career, Trump was the first guy to pick up the phone and reach out to me. Dana White and Trump have become friends because Donald Trump has always been supportive of the UFC. And so Dana White invited him to this event a long time ago, because some people are on the internet are saying, oh, well, Trump just went to the UFC event because he thought he'd get cheered there after he got booed at the World Series, right? Which was 6 days earlier. But first of all, I don't think they just planned out, oh, well, I got booed at the World Series. Here, get me into that UFC event so I can get cheered, right? No. They planned that shit out a lot longer in advance. So here's the thing. Dana White invited Trump to this UFC event because there's 2 fighters in that event who are super Trump fans, right? And so here, let's listen to Dana.
The president was coming, and can you give a little insight into what the last 48 hours have been like? And also, were you nervous? I know you're not a nervous guy typically, but were you nervous at all about the
We might have to turn
crowd
it up there
reaction
because
to
I got it as loud as it'll go.
So when he was elected, he called me the night that he was elected and told me to get down to the party, the after party, and I went, and he wanted to come to the Conor McGregor fight the next night. And obviously he didn't know what he didn't know at the time, how crazy it would be. And then he called me the next morning and said, you know what, I'm going to ruin your event if I go. I think it'll ruin it, and they'll have to shut everything down, and I don't think it's a good idea. Let's plan this again, when there's more time to plan. And
so it was planned a long time in advance.
I don't know if you know the history, but when we first bought this company, venues didn't want us. No venue wanted the UFC. And at that time, Trump reached out and asked us to come to the Taj Mahal. And that's where we ended up doing our first 2 events under the Zuffa banner. Cut us great deals, showed up at the first fight, stayed to the end. We did 2 events with him. Then we moved on to the Meadowlands And when we left and went to the Meadowlands, he showed up to that event too. Came to the first fight, stayed all night.
So in other words, Donald Trump is a fan of the UFC, not just a supporter. He's a fan.
Always good. Everything that ever happened to me in my career, Trump was the first guy to pick up the phone and reach out to me. From getting back on pay-per-view, getting our first TV deal when we did the big Fox deal. I mean, the guy always reached out to me. Then as it was starting to hear rumors that he was running for president, I got a call one day from like the New York Times, and they said, we're hearing that that Trump is going to ask you to speak at the Republican National Convention. Are you going to do it? And I was like, what? First of all, he hasn't called me and asked me anything. I don't know anything about this or whatever. And then finally, he did call me, and he said, and this is exactly how he said it, if you don't want to do this, I completely understand. But I'd be honored if you'd speak at the Republican convention for me.
Interesting. Now, here's the thing. That statement right there probably tells you a little more about Trump than anyone would ever say anything about him, good about him. Notice how Dana said, okay, so he called me. He said, I'd love you to do it, but I completely understand if you would want to. And I got a feeling that that's how Trump deals with people just one-on-one. Yes, he's this brazen New Yorker. I always call him a New York Democrat, but, typical New York loudmouth, whatever. But when he's talking one-to-one, I bet that's how he deals with people. You know what? I understand that you may not want to do this, but I'd be honored if you do it. And so that tells me a lot. I consider Trump to be kind of a jackass, but not always in a bad way. He's the best jackass. But anyway, but that tells me more about Trump than just about anything. All right, let's see here.
And I was like, I'm honored that you asked me, and of course I will. And I did it, and I'm telling you, since the guy has become president, I've been to the White House 4 times for dinner. He's been the most stand-up guy since the day I met him. And he told me, I want to come to a UFC event eventually. So we had dinner last Thursday at the White House, and he said, I'm coming to New York. And I was like, oh my God, that's going to be a rough one. Why don't we do Vegas on the 14th? And New York was the only one that he could do, so he came tonight. And I think that there's this craziness going on politically right now. If you're a Trump guy, you don't like certain types of people, or you don't like, and it's really, there's a lot of bullshit in that. The country's in a crazy place right now with all that. Did you see Michael Rappaport here tonight? Nobody hates President Trump more than Michael Rappaport, okay? And I'm very good friends with Michael Rappaport. I don't know if anybody hates, maybe Snoop hates him more than Rappaport does. I'm very good friends with Snoop and lots of other people that are on one side or the other. This is a guy who's been a really good friend of mine for a long time. He's done everything that he ever said he would do, and tonight he showed up to the event. And I think as fans of the sport, I think all of us can sort of appreciate, whatever political side you sit on, that the President of the United States came to one of our events.
That's huge for the sport, Good point, Mike. Looks like Trump wants businesses to succeed and wouldn't want to ruin them. Exactly. But you know what? For the UFC, which is still, it's a niche kind of market sport, the President of the United States attending a UFC event is huge for Dana. And Dana, of course Dana's going to try to accommodate him. I mean, it's just silly that these people get pissed off about whatever. By the way, thank Jack Cochran. Also, thanks for tweeting out the show. I appreciate it. All right, let's go through some Twitter trends and then get out of here because I'm already running late. So, I should have a Twitter trend song. I should come up with like a jingle just for Twitter trends, or a little. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of little bumpers, like little bumper things. So, it'll be the Twitter trends. All right, real quick. Let's do this. I gotta do a couple clicks here first. All right, trending on Twitter right now. Number 1 Let's see. Okay, it's a Monday. It's Monday, and every Monday, of course, every day of the week, we get a day of the week Twitter trend, right? And so today's number one Twitter trend is Monday motivation. Okay, let's see if we can find something motivating for Monday. Let's go. Visionary Music Group, if you're feeling burnt out for reaching that point, take a break and reassess how you can better reach your goals. That's a Monday motivation, but even better, Ric Flair. Rise and grind. Woo! There you go. Rise and grind. Ric Flair showing the muscle. How old is Ric Flair? He's got to be almost 80 years old. But the natural, the what else? I can't even think of whatever nicknames they had for Ric Flair. But yeah, woo! That's a motivation. He's 80 years old. All right, moving on. Number 2, something Moby won't back down. But you know what? I see those letters there. See those letters? Those are Korean, which means this has something to do with K-pop. I ain't clicking it. F that. Monday morning's trending number 3. Yes, it's Monday morning, and I'm sure lots of people are talking about Monday morning. Army Selka Day. Now, this I will click. Let's see what this is. Wait, what? No, oh, no. They tricked me. Is this K-pop related? 2 people connected by the red thread are destined lovers. This magical cord may stretch or tangle, but never break. Army Selka Day. What the F is this? Okay, a cute little Korean girl in a old city, and then some Korean dude with dyed blonde hair in a old city. I don't know what this means. Do I care? No, it's K-pop. Get that crap off my screen. Moving on. Number 4, Monday Moon. Skip it 8. Number 6. Richard Spencer is still trending. Oh, this is painful. Racist. Now this is Boing Boing's article. Racist tirade from Nazi media darling. Nazi media darling? Oh, Nazi media darling. Richard Spencer leaked. Let's see what Boing Boing says about this. Holy fuck. I hate Boing Boing. Leaked audio allegedly captures racist tirade by Nazi media darling Richard Spencer. Of course, they have to show him getting hit cold cocked. Richard Spencer sought to cast his brand of clean-cut ethnic nationalism as a respectable conservative alternative to Nazism. What? No, he didn't. But he's still an idiot. And coining the term alt-right to refer to it and successfully attracting mainstream media interest, he's a freaking sideshow. The only interest is because they want to paint people as being Nazis. And, oh my God. Okay, this is Boing Boing. I should understand. In this audio recording posted Sunday by provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos and claimed to be of Spencer, a man is heard ranting about Jews and black people in more traditionally far-right mode. Fuck off. Far-right mode. What do you mean by far-right? Huh? You don't... Oh, you guys, go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Mother Jones was the first to indulge Spencer's media plan. Meet the dapper white nationalist who wins even if Trump loses. Oh, yeah, that was the article from Mother Jones way back when. This guy, he was a genius in getting his name out there, but he's an asshole. Let's stop talking about him. Okay, moving on. I'm not even gonna click Richard Spencer again. Roger Penske is trending. Oh, wow. Penske buys Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the IndyCar Series. You know what? That might be a good thing if you're into motorsports. Penske is, let's see, This AM have announced a bombshell sale of the company to Roger Penske's Penske Entertainment Corporation. While Mark Miles had maintained that Holman and Company wasn't for sale, Indy insiders long said it would be sold eventually. I don't know if that's good or bad. I would think that's good. His company is all about motorsports, so good for them, I think. Indianapolis Motor Speedway and IndyCar Series have been sold to Penske Entertainment Corp in a stunning announcement that relinquishes control of the iconic speedway from the Holman family after 74 years. So the Holman family sold it, at least the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I don't know if the IndyCar Series was the IndyCar Series owned by Holman too. I mean, it was a family-owned thing, but you know what? Okay, maybe some motorsports people don't like this idea. Because here's something here. My dad, upon hearing that Roger Penske bought the Speedway, that is like Satan buying the Catholic Church. Okay, maybe some people aren't happy about it. Oh, okay. Some people who are into motorsports are going to be talking about it. Okay, moving on. Tomorrow is election day. Yeah, tomorrow is election day in many states and municipalities. Generally off state elections, for example, where I live, I think the only thing where we have elections for are like school boards, non-partisan elections. But in Virginia, every seat in the House of Delegates and Senate is up for grabs. If you don't want Virginia to turn into California, then get out and vote Republican. So in some states, yeah, it's a big deal. And in some states, it's like, whatever, school board. Although, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's my opinion. Because I'm always loath to give my opinions on this show. School board elections are very important. And if you don't know who's representing you on the school board, you might be getting more, drag queen library time or something, which nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But anyway, your local elections probably have so much more impact on your life. People talk about, remember that panel we were talking about the other day where it was the 7 leftist black people on the panel at Politicon talking about black life under Trump. You know what? I've lived through many presidents, and not one of them has made any huge impact on my life, no matter what they're doing in Washington. But I'll tell you what, the state people, when the state raises your local taxes and does this and that, your local government has so much more impact on your life. My city council, they've been doing little improvements in the city that I'm like, you know what? We needed that, right? And, the school board depends on how it is a big factor in how your kids get educated. Think about your local elections. The federal government, we need to slow them down, okay? And really focus on your state, city, and local governments that actually have an impact on your life. Those should be the most impactful on your life. So anyway, whatever. Can you tell me that link, please? Which link, Pincalo? Let me know which link you're talking about. Because I can't figure it out here in natural. Nature Boy. Oh, Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's right. Nature Boy. No, sometimes I think on the fly and I forget, okay? There was a wrestler called The Natural too, though. I know The Natural, the Robert Redford movie. Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's right. Anyway, and please tell me which link you're asking. It's Penske. Oh, the Penske one? Is that the one you want to see? Hang on a second. It's trending on Twitter right now. If that's one you're talking about. Oh wait, but I don't know if you're in here. I'll just send you the link. Let's go back to Penske here. Penske to buy Indianapolis Motor Raceway. Is that the one? I don't know which one you're talking about. It's not really a wrong statement. Penske is kind of like the Walt Disney of racing. Okay. I'm not as familiar with that as I probably should be. Here, I'll give you here's one of the articles. I'll just pop that in the chat. This is the Penske. You'll see it before I say it. All right. Let's get back to what else is trending here. We did tomorrow's election day. Jermaine Whitehead cut after threatening Tinder. Oh my God, this dude. Apparently, he didn't like what the fans were saying. Browns player Jermaine Whitehead just got his Twitter suspended 15 minutes after losing to the Broncos. Here's what he did. Just saw 2 for 110 yards and a TD. Fuck boy. And he said, "Don't get shot at, little bitch. Can you whoop my ass? Fuck football. Let me know when you need the address." He's then here, give me time and place. You suck. And he gave him his address. Any fucking day of the week, cracker. This guy's like, "Yep, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. That's on blood." Oh my God, dude. Anyway, so he's got suspended from Twitter, and I think he's gonna be probably suspended from the NFL. Can't wait for Jermaine Whitehead piece on saying he's actually the victim of a context smear hit. Oh, he got fired, dude, for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, Jermaine Whitehead is, oh boy, not having a good week. Jason Mitchell, who is that? Trending? I don't know. Jason Mitchell lost not 1 but 2 jobs over the same thing. He don't know what the issue is. I don't know who Jason Mitchell is. Anyone know who Jason Mitchell is? Oh, I see a lot of people talking about him. Oh, as much as I want to believe Jason Mitchell on the Breakfast Club, shit just don't sound right. Sitting here listening to Jason Mitchell lie and dance himself through an interview. Okay, whoever this is, I'll have to figure out later. I'm running out of time. Tisha, okay, that's some drama. Victory Monday has to do with the NFL. We're gonna skip that. Which my Vikings did not have Victory Monday, so I don't know why I say my Vikings. I live here. I've lived here for 30 years. I enjoy the Vikings now. Anyway, I feel bad that they lost, but it was a great game between them and the Chiefs. Quite a interesting game, although it sucked that Adam Thielen got hurt early in the game. Written. Okay, don't know. Is there anything I really care about here? Okay, bizarre things to brag about. We'll finish with bizarre things to brag about. Although Covfefe is trending. Why is Covfefe trending? Great. But how do you know it was a mistweet? Maybe something with deep meaning. Oh, Covfefe is in the news again. Okay, it's solved. Donald's May 31st, 2017 tweet, despite the constant negative press, Covfefe, whatever that meant, despite the constant negative press, I will stand up. So fuck off. Okay, somebody was... So he... Oh, you can look that one up yourself. My God. And then finally, bizarre things to brag about, which is how we'll finish. Let's just do a couple. Bizarre things to brag about. My emotional support dog. Bizarre things to brag about. Being Twitter famous. Okay. Bizarre things to brag about. Michael Myers follows me. Bizarre things to brag about. Crowd size. Yeah. Or hand size or whatever. Bizarre things to brag about. How many accidents you've been in. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, that's good. That's enough. Hey, gang. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. After our daylight savings time switch back, I see some light in the end of the tunnel and at the beginning of the tunnel because it's much brighter out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys who come almost each and every day. Hey, before you go, if you haven't already done so, and if you're not already subscribe, hit the subscribe button down there. And if the bell pops up, you got to go bing and you hit that bell, and then you're notified of everything we put out on the channel. Also, if you would be so kind before you leave, if you haven't done so, hit the like button. Do you like what I do? Do you like what we do on the channel? Hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. And then finally, what was the other one? There's likes. Oh, subscribe. And if you ever want to do donations or do super chats on the channel, that information is in the Streamlabs link down below, streamlabs.com/pdognight. You can do that through PayPal. And, hey, we're going to be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, like we do every day. I think that's all. So I'm going to say goodbye with my usual, my name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a fantastic day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.
Like on the road, you haven't, so you could just go out and drive.